I'm going to the way I'm going to format things for these kind of you know uh, just a window into the shop where you can kind of peek in and out as needed. I'm going to try and it's always a quest of being more efficient at working, balanced with providing information that's valuable to you, and you learn new things and it's fun and stuff to hang out. So I'm going to try something where I'm just going to check the comments on every half hour or the hour and try and answer any questions or respond to any comments. So make your comments specific enough that I know to what you're referring to, and feel free to comment as much as you want. And it's probably healthy to take a break every half hour anyway for a few minutes, right? So I'm gonna try and set up the cam where I'll tell you in general what I'm doing. I may not talk as much about what I'm doing and rely more on your what you're interested in, what you're seeing to go into depth on something. Again, this is just me trying to figure things out with the live stream and what's valuable to you and what's a good balance. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get things rolling. And let's see here. So I am working on, yesterday we were doing this experiment of getting all these measurements and weights for between the Steinway action and the Yamaha, and I'm continuing to do that. Um, and there's some weights and things that I didn't get last time that I also want to be part of the picture. So I'm going to be working on that here. And then also I'm going to be putting together a D in a little bit, I should say. So let me just see if I can get an angle here where you can kind of see my station. And again, I'll be answering comments on the half hour and on the hour. So if right now it is, what's the real time here? It's 12:17. So I'll check in about 12:30 on comments and any questions you have from what you see. But essentially, I'm using a scale. Using this is a Stanwood. Stanwood is an individual who, that's his last name, obviously. He came up with a way of analyzing what's going on with the touch of a piano, the relative, heavy, light, medium piano touch feel. And his system is convenient for just kind of analyzing static numbers and weights of the action and just kind of comparing. And so for this purpose, comparing the Steinway to the Yamaha, it's just interesting to see what they're doing with their design. And then you can compare that if you're a player to what do those actions feel like. And these are, as a review, these are brand new pianos virtually within the last year or two manufactured. And so this represents current production for both of these pianos. As far as we know, I mean, that's always a changing process for some manufacturers, right? But it's a snapshot right now anyway. And my goal is just to learn more about these two different pianos, to actually learn a little more, not just say, well, I noticed this about this action and this, and I think it's because of this. I want to have some actual numbers just to kind of, validate my experience as I play as a musician on the pianos. And I don't have any agenda. I don't like one or the over other. I think they're two different instruments that are just great. I mean, they excel maybe for different kinds of music, things like that. But but anyway, yeah, just looking to do an experiment here and just go a little more in depth. So right now I'm measuring the weights of the individual components of these things. So that's what I'm up to today, and then I'll be trying to figure out, once I clear this off, once I measure these things, then I can clear that out of the way, and I'm going to be working on this 9-foot Steinway and starting to decide how to put it together for the best sound. So this is hammer number, or I might say this is C-sharp 5. So I need to get a weight on this one on my scale. And that's going to be, let's see here if I've got this right, 8.6 grams. This is grams, and this is This measurement's called the strike weight. Okay. I'm gonna try and, man, I don't know. My tripod broke yesterday. Excuse me. Tragedy, right? But I'm just, the Yamaha action's over here. If it's out of your view, I'm just kind of taking parts off it. And Mark and I took sample notes, basically across the keyboard, way more than we need to understand the geometry of what's going on here. But as far as the weighting and the weight of the parts, I think it's useful to kind of see how the hand, because some of the parts are what can I say? There's kind of they get lighter as you go from bass to treble. Probably the best way to put that. The hammers, namely. All the other parts are pretty, the hammers and the keys, I should say. Everything else in between is pretty consistent. I should probably set an alarm on my phone for the half hour and the hour when I told you I would answer comments and questions. And not just to try to I want to get a format that just really works for everyone. They know, oh, I want to pop in and see something. I can ask a question. I know he's going to respond to it this amount of time. I only have this amount of time before I have to do a job or whatever. Okay, so this measurement is 7.4 grams on C7 for the strike weight. 7.4 grams. You know, you're actually helping me if I'm talking to myself a little more while I do this. Helps me keep track of what I'm doing, maybe. Okay, I'm going to do C#7. I already took the Steinway numbers. Then my plan is with this data is to get a better understanding. I haven't messed a lot with this Stanwood method where he'll go through and kind of refine things. I know enough to feel like I can make an action or a piano feel good or sound good for sure. But you know, from the science end of things, there's some knowledge gaps that I want to fill in. This is 7.0 grams for C#7, okay? I want to show you something on a metal rail. Some of these pianos with a metal rail. When we work on pianos a lot, we talk about back threading to get into the threads, right? And then going forward. That doesn't often work on this kind of a rail for whatever reason. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I find the best thing is just to try and get the screw straight up and down in every way. You know, maybe go a little bit back, but just start turning and it'll find its path. If you get a lot of resistance, you might get some resistance, but I think these screws will tap themselves back. But if you get a lot, whoops, excuse me, sorry for that. But if you get a lot of resistance, yeah, maybe you're cross-threading and you don't want to strip that out. So be careful there. But it does behave differently from wood because this is an aluminum rail. Okay, so now I've got the forgive me while I try and find the best place for the camera here. So that's the strike weights. I want to measure what's called the front weight now, and that's on the keys. That measures how much weight the key at the front of the key there is when it's balanced on its balance point. And I just want to follow the instructions here how to do that. This is my first time using this table, using this method. So front weight measurement standard procedure. Install the front weight tower jig onto the roller bearing of the tower jig. Okay, so here we have, oh, and I was going to say, my plan is to, I'm just going to put that on here. And it's going to flop around there a little bit, looks like. Put that here. This is just to provide a real, what should we call it? There, now that's not going to come off. And move my scale forward a little bit. To provide a place for the key to rest. That's not going to add friction to it. It's going to be similar to balancing it. Okay, I believe that's what that's for. Let me keep reading here, though. So he wants me to put 1/4 of an inch of this pin facing down. Let's see if that is about where we at. I just kind of guessed it. 1/4 of an inch. That's just about exactly what I did. I'll go a little bit. I don't know if that matters too much, but I want to follow instructions here. Here's my 1/4 inch. Okay. So 1/4 inch of the pins that way. And then I have this thing that the key is meant to rest on the scale. And we have different size balance pins. That's interesting. Let's see which balance pin goes with what. I've got to take the stacks off of these actions here. I'll find my magnet pickup. Where'd that go? There it is. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to here. These screws out of the way. Get this out of the way. Set that up over here. Okay, that's going to be fine there. And there was a screw that snuck away there. So let's see which pin, let's see if this fits, if this bouncer will hold. Okay, this pin is too large. I need a smaller key pin. He adds another one here. That's what that's for, all right. Let's see if this balance pin goes in there. Wait, that doesn't go in there. Okay, I don't want either of those. Well, that's no good. Did I miss something here? Is there another thing that I need? It says it includes a 146. This includes a 146 and a 162. The problem is the 146 would supposed to be able to be fit in here, but it's too tight, and I don't want to enlarge my hole. So he says, "Oh, it goes on. It's just right. Okay, we should be okay." These are 140. You know, these pins should fit on it. That's the standard one, but I was just a little worried about enlarging that. Let's see here. We'll get this a 1/4 inch again. And it's supposed to balance in a nearly upright position. I think it does that fine. Alright, it balances, okay. And then rotate the counterweight so that the pin comes to rest in the desired position. As shown, the pin at rest is set to the balance rail pin angle of the key being measured. right. I think we're okay there. Place the front weight roller jig on the pan of the scale as shown. Set the scale to read 0. Got it. Then place the key on the balancer rail pin and rest the front of the key on the roller jig as shown. And it shows me exactly where to put that on the front of the key. Okay. Oh, it's 12:30. So I'm answering your questions, comments on the half hour and the hour. Let me take a look at the comments. See what there is here. If anything. Live chat. Flip the camera here for the live chat. Okay, no one has any questions or comments. That's just fine. You're welcome to hang out. And if you do have any questions or comments, I'll check back in again in a half hour at the 1 o'clock my time, and half hour in the hour. I'll check for comments. That'll help my flow of work, that I can keep moving. And I'm working on this. Trying to get a feel for it. So we'll continue on, shall we? But thanks for tuning in, everyone. See if I can flip that camera around again. Okay, so set the scale to 0. Place the key on the balance rail pin and rest the front of the key on the roller jig. Place a bubble level on the top of the key. All right, we'll just go one step at a time here. So first we want to set this so that this will be right about there. We need to raise this height, obviously. And we're going to put a bubble level on the top of the key so that we can level this, okay? All right then, we shall do it. Okay. Place a bubble level on the top of the key and adjust the height of the tower jig so that the key is level. Check. Then remove the bubble level. Why? Because it's heavy, has weight to it, right? Obviously. Remove the bubble level. Move the roller jig side to side so that its vertical edge lines up with the front vertical edge of the key as shown. Okay, so we want this to be sliding, where that's right there. Okay. So these are just flush on that side, it looks like, is what they want. Okay. Read the front weight off the scale. Let me just check that we're zeroed out here. Okay. The front weight on the scale and note the front weight. Use the abbreviation FW as the front weight column name. Okay, so this is C1 on the Steinway, and we have front weight for C1 is 30.1 grams. Okay, we're going to keep weighing this. We'll do all the Steinway measurements, then the Yamaha, just in case we have to change something out on the jig, so we just keep a flow there, okay? All right. So now we're going to do the sharp key here, and we're going to want to put this level with the front of the key. 26.7 grams for C sharp. 27.6, I mean. Excellent, excelente. C3. I'm going to do all the sharps first. It'll be faster because this will be the right way. So I'm going to do C sharp 3. Just make sure I put my data in the right field on my spreadsheet. Okay. 22.4 grams for C sharp 3. 22.4 grams. We're going to go C sharp 5. C sharp 5 is 17.2 11.8 grams. You'll notice we're dropping, we're lowering in front weight because the hammers get lighter and lighter. We don't need as much weight on the front to balance them. Okay, we don't need as much lead, etc., etc. Last sharp on the Steinway is 11.3 gramos. Now I'm going to go through and do all the C's. So now we're on C3 for the Steinway for front weight. I need to set the jig so that this is at the aligned with the front of the key. The edges are aligned right there. Let me make sure the scale's zeroed out. It is. Okay. Put that down there. 24.8. For C3, we're going to go C5. This is kind of fun, actually. Kind of fun. C5. Okay. 21.3. Cool, cool. C7. One more. C7. Okay, I have a question for everybody. When someone says high C, which C are they talking about? I'm curious if we're in agreement here. Okay, 20.4 grams for that one. Great. Okay, we're going to set this up for the Yamaha and do the same thing. I'm going to change my table around though so I can access the Yamaha really easily here. Okay, we've got to take off the, so it'll maybe angle you different here so you can kind of see the Yamaha for a bit. You can see the whole kit and caboodle. I broke my tripod the other day. It's sad but true. So we just have a little block to set my poor man's tripod is a little wood block. But you didn't come to this channel for excellent filmography, if that's even the right term for something like this. Right? I'm not sure why you came this cow, but hey, you can always tell me. Love to know. I will say this. It is a lot more fun for me to do something like this where I know someone can see it if they want to. I don't know why. It just is. I guess I like to connect with people that way. So. All right. Grab my magnet pickup, which is here. If you're just joining, you're going to get most of the value out of this maybe is if you have a question, a comment, and you put it up on the chat, and then on the half hour and the hour, I'll check that for a few minutes and respond to everyone's questions, okay? Let's not do that on those keys. Let's do it away from those keys. Okay, we're going to set up for front weight, weighing front weight on the Yamaha. We're going with C1. Okay, and we want to check that it fits on this pin, and it don't. It doesn't. So we need to use a drill bit or something that we can stick through there. That may be what he includes these things for. We'll see. I don't know for sure. Let's see if this is it's a little loosey goosey of a fit. I'm gonna find a drill bit that'll work on here. Some kind of pin. So found a drill bit. It's 1/36 thousandths, and I'll just clamp it in here. We just need to see that it balances okay. Let's see here. Yeah, there's not a lot of friction on this actually, so it doesn't. The balance, I can't tell that it plays a role actually. So that's kind of tricky for me. Let's do this. It'll tighten on the shank there. I'll just do the 1/4 inch down like he says on that pin. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna stick this carefully onto the key, and we're gonna arrange this where this is flush with the. Let's center that. Let's see. Let's put it like so. Okay. Right, so our scale's zeroed out, and C1, the front weight on the Yamaha is 50.3. We're gonna do C3 on the Yamaha, okay. C3. Oops, bumped that one. Oh, the keys get shorter, that's my issue. So I have to move this thing around anyway. Okay, we have 35.3 on that one. For C3, we're going to do C5. C5. I've done a considerable amount of adding lead, removing lead on keyboards to, doing new keyboards where, notice I keep making this shorter because these keys get shorter. That's one difference in the design between the Yamaha and the Steinway 7-foot is that the Yamaha has a tapered key, so they're longer. They reach back further in the action. You can create a different lever going on there. 28.9 grams. And I forgot what I was saying before, so sorry if I left you hanging on a thought there. It's not that piano, this piano. We're going to do C7. Yeah, and the Steinway keys are all the same length for their 7-foot piano. For their 9-foot piano, they're more like this. They're tapered in length. The bass keys are longer, and the treble keys are shorter. Okay, we've got a front weight on this C7 of 14.2 grams. 14.2. We're going to do the C sharps. We're going to do C sharp 7 since we're over here. Grab that one off. It gives me, let's tweak this a little bit. Okay, let's try again. Zeroed, and we get 10.8 grams for C sharp 7 as a front weight. We're going to go C sharp 5, and this should be a longer key. You'll notice me moving the jig out further. Maybe a half inch, 3/4 of an inch. And that one is 25.2 grams. 5.2 grams front weight. You do have to treat the sharps as like a different set than the naturals for the most part, I think, as far as the levers that are there. Okay, we're gonna go C sharp 3. And what do we have? Let's fix this distance. We have 33.4. So these are getting heavier as we go down because, why? Because the hammers that they balance are heavier. C sharp 1. The longest C sharp in this piano. Okay. Move that where it needs to be. Okay, that one is 46.8 grams. Okay. Now we're going to do a measurement that I'm not so familiar with. He calls this the key weight ratio. And if I was smart, I would have done this at the same time as doing the others. But I need to make a coil of wire for this, is my understanding. I'm just going to set this to the side. I have to make a coil of wire, lead wire, which is, it's in the box over here. So they give you some lead wire for a different purpose. This so you could add weight to hammers if need be to kind of even out the weight gradation of that. But I need 10 grams of lead wire for this measurement that he wants us to do as part of things here. Let's see how many grams I have right here. Let's set the scale to 0. 19 grams, okay. Break that in half. Good. Let's see what we got now. 9.8. Let's see what the other side is. It's probably less than that, right? Because we didn't have 20. 9.6. 9.8. So that's going to have to do. And then I'll add 0.2 grams to my measurements if possible. I think that's not ideal. Maybe I can somehow. Oh, now it says 9.9. And it's actually 9.9. It's really close, right? For relative comparison, I think it's fine. Let's see if I can add 1 gram or 1/10 of a gram with a little bit of lead wire, which I don't think I can. No, that puts us way over. So even that much. Okay, so we're gonna go with 9.8 and we'll adjust things. So we need this thing on here again. And it says key weight ratio. Measuring the key weight ratio. Place the key on the scale as if measuring front weight. We're gonna psych you out. We're gonna pretend like we're measuring front weight, but really we're gonna measure key weight ratio. Set the scale to read 0 and place a 10 gram weight on the capstan. So let's go one step at a time here. So we're going to place the key on. We're going to do this C sharp 1 since we're actually, let's just do them in order since we can. Because on this piano it's not going to help me any to do the naturals and the sharps because all the keys are different lengths. So we're going to have to move things around a little bit no matter what. Okay, we're going to place it on here as if we were going to read what did they say? The key weight, okay? All right, so that's how I'm gonna do that as if I was gonna read the key weight. So I need to first zero out that thing. Then I put the key on there as if I was gonna measure the weight. I can double check what I'm getting here. Slightly different. That's closer to what I was getting before, so it's in a good spot maybe now. And then it says to zero out the scale, okay? Then it says place a 10-gram weight, or in this case 9.8 grams, on the capstan. Here we go. Okay, then center the end, okay. Drop the minus sign and move the decimal 1 point to the left. For instance, a reading of negative 5.5 equals a key ratio of 0.55. Record the key weight ratio on a data sheet. All right. So I've got negative 5.2, but we're going to adjust that to, we're going to add 2.2 grams to that since our weight was only 9.8 grams. So that's a negative 5.4. So we drop the negative sign, 0.54, and move the decimal over 2. So that's over 1 to the left, so it's 0.54. Hey Dave, what's up? Streaming with the camera. What's going on? Don't say anything you won't regret.
There was a truck just pulled in with some couches, and I thought they were bringing them to you. I was going to see if you could put them in my break room so I could take a nap.
I don't need any couches.
No one stole your tires yet out there?
No.
Are they good?
Yeah.
Are they your winter tires or
Yeah,
something?
they're just my winter tires. I'll tuck them inside over the weekend. Yeah.
I've seen them out there for a few days. I'm going, geez.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh, they probably fit my Honda. No. Okay.
Did you need something though? You're just checking on the
No,
tires?
I was just checking to make sure you're okay down here.
Yeah, I'm alive. I don't have any couches though. I could really use some couches in here.
I know, I saw
That'll help my work.
He came in and turned around, and I thought he was going to back up to your door, and I was going to say, hey, they're supposed to go down here. But I think they were going over here. He thought that there was a...
Yeah, I can't even afford couches for my house, let alone my shop, you know, so, yeah. Okay.
I know what you're saying.
Yep.
It's not cheap anymore. You got a few pianos going on in here, dude.
Yeah, I gotta finish some. Gotta get paid, yep. That's why I'm here on Saturday.
Yeah, I got like 5 players lined up, so
Wow.
that's why I'm here. They just keep coming. I keep thinking, okay, I'll get caught up, and then maybe I can take a couple days off and get something done at home. No. I gotta leave today around 2 so I can get my lawn mowed.
Yeah, mine too.
Either that or we can go in and buy some sheep and share them.
They'll
Except my
eat
dog-
it to the dirt.
Except my dogs that chase them around the yard all day.
All right,
Yeah,
see you around,
my
Dave.
dogs don't eat grass, man. I wouldn't have to feed them. They can mow my lawn.
Yeah. No kidding.
Okay, dude.
See you around.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we're on Yamaha key weight ratio for C1 is going to be 0.54. I'm going to double check, make sure I'm understanding that right. Yep, I'm understanding it right. So that's what we're doing here with the key weight ratio. I think we can handle that. All right, we'll move to C#1 for the Yamaha. C#1. And to be honest, I don't know what key rate ratio tells us. I'm too new at this analysis and method. So we'll find out what it tells us. Make sure we're at 0 there. Oops. What happened there? 0. And pretend like we're measuring the weight. And then we stick our lead weight on the capstan. Oh no, I gotta zero the scale off first. I need a negative number, right? Yeah. So I gotta zero the scale. Put my weight on the capstan. Negative 5.3. I'm already adjusting for the 0.2. Negative 5.3. We got a key weight ratio of 0.53. Okay. Well, I can already see that key weight ratio is useful because we've got different lengths of keys, right? But we also then have different lengths from here to the capstan, from here to the front. So by doing the ratio, it's helping us analyze from note to note. It should be a similar number if it's going to be a smooth touch, basically, or if we're going to have to make similar adjustments for each of the hammers. You know, so it's not like our ability to lift the hammer goes like this, you know. Okay, so we're going to do C3. Zero out the scale. Put the key on. Zero out the scale. Put the lead on. We get minus 5.2, which is 0.52 for the key weight ratio on that. Okay. No, I've never been to any kind of Stanwood class or anything, you know, on the method. So I'm just reading the instructions with the kit that comes with the kit here. It doesn't mean I don't know anything about keys, but you know, pretty green at this Stanwood business. First, I need to zero that out. Get my key weight. Zero that out. My lead. Minus 5.4, which is a key weight ratio of 0.54. Then we move to C5, okay? Zero the scale out. Put my key weight on. Zero it out. Put my lead on. That one's going to be minus 0.56. That's a key weight ratio of 0.56. Okay. And I don't have anything on these instructions how to measure this at this point that shows, you know, that discusses the key weight ratio. I think that there might be some reading in the kit, in a brochure or pamphlet that I can look at to understand more what, you know, how he wants to utilize this information for setting good touch. But okay, I'm going to zero this out. Key on. Zero it out. Put the lead on. That one doesn't want to sit down. Minus 5, so that's a key weight ratio of 0.5, which is 2 to 1. That is 2 to 1, or is it 1 to 2? I don't remember how the way you're supposed to actually say that. Okay. So now we need C7, and then C sharp 7. What time are we at here? Question time? Almost question time. I'll do this one more key and then I'll check the chat. We'll go to questions, comments. Okay. Okay, I'm going to zero that out. Put the key down. Zero that out. Put the lead down. And that's 5.4. We got a key weight ratio of 0.54. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that when we measured our lengths for the geometry program yesterday, that's giving us a length ratio, right? And this is giving us on the scale a weight ratio. And I'm just trying to think out loud and wrap my head around what's that really telling us? How's that going to be useful? C#7, then we'll go to questions. I know I lied. I said I was going to do that one, and then we'll go to questions. But I'll go after this. After this. Okay. First, I want to make sure we're zeroed out. Key down. Zeroed out. Lead. That's 0.54 for the key ratio on that one too. All right, let's put this back. Take a look at questions. See if there's any comments or questions on the chat here. Let me see. Flip the camera here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's check this out. Live chat. Okay. Oh, we have one peace sign. Great. Jeffrey Boyle's tuned in. Welcome. So if you're just joining in, you didn't hear my spiel. I'm just going to be working here in the shop. The camera is just an opportunity for you to kind of hang in, hang out. Obviously, I'm talking out loud a lot, which hopefully lets you know what I'm doing. And on the half hour, an hour, we'll answer questions if they come in through the chat and address any comments, questions, whatever. So there we go. Jeffrey says that's cool. All right. So we're going to go ahead and let's see here. All right. We'll go ahead and flip the camera. We'll keep working. Okay, we're going to get this key ratio measurement for the Steinway now, okay? So we're gonna change out this pin for the center pin that works, for the balance pin that works on a Steinway. That's that one, the 1/46 thousandths. We'll go ahead and put that 1/4 of an inch down, make sure it's balanced there. Balanced, okay. Then we're going to stick this down and put that level there. Let me just check my level on this, but yeah, we're still level there. Okay, so I'm going to zero out that, put the key weight down, add lead to the back on the capstan. That simulates a set amount of weight on the capstan, which is 10 grams. We're going to zero that out. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. Zero it out with the thing that we set it on. Get the front weight. Zero out the front weight. Then put the weight on and take a reading. And I'm getting negative 5.3. Which is a key ratio of 0.53. They say to get rid of the negative sign. And I'm just following instructions. If you don't join in, you're like, how did we know? I'm just following the instructions on this jig setup for the Stanwood method that I've never done before. So we're just kind of exploring together. So that was 0.53. And we're just going to go on all the Steinway notes like that and do the same thing. I'm going to do all the C naturals first. Not all of them, but the samples that we chose. And we're going to zero this out. Get the front weight. Zero that out. Give us this. 0.54 is the ratio, is the key ratio. Key ratio sounds like hoe ratio. Shakespeare character, right name. C5. Here we go. Carefully put that on the balance. Get our weight, front weight, and zero it out. Add our lead. Minus 5.2, which is a key weight ratio of 0.52. That is very interesting. As I'm comparing the numbers between the two keyboards. All right. C7. Zero out key weight. Put that weight on. We've got minus 5.2, which is a key weight ratio of 0.52. Now, I put my numbers on the spreadsheet in the wrong spot. I've got to adjust that really quick. 0.52 goes with C7. Point, let's see, 0.54 to, so we need a 0.52 on C5 and a 0.54 on C3. Ah, no, that's a little different. Okay. All right, we're gonna do the sharps. Zero that out. C#1 for Steinway. Got that zeroed out. Front weight is that. I zero out the front weight and add the weight on the capstan, which gives me a key weight ratio of 0.54. That's a familiar number so far. We've seen that one a few times. Right? And this is my C#7. We'll use that in a sec. C#3. Zero out that stand there. Get my key front weight. Zero that out. Add my weight here. 0.48. That gives us a key ratio of 0.48. That's interesting. That one's the furthest off of any that we've seen. Just off of the the general trend of what we're seeing. Not drawing any conclusions from that at this point, just talking out loud. Okay, there's our front weight, zero it out, put our weight on there. It's going to give us 0.49. That's some lower numbers than we've seen thus far. We already have our C#7 right here. Okay. And we're going to make sure this is zeroed out. Get the front weight. Oh wait, this is not in the right spot there. It got bumped. Zero that out. Front weight. Zero it out. Counterweight. It's a key weight ratio of 0.49 again. That is different. Okay. All right, the next thing, so that's all our key weights and whatnot. The front weight, key ratio weight. Now there's one more thing I can gain from the scale setup. One more thing I can look at, and that is the whipping weight. So here we go with whipping weight, which he calls the whipping radius weight, okay? The whipping radius weight measurement, standard procedure. Set up the tower with the jig, check. Let's take off, so we can take off this doodad now, okay? And we can just leave it like so. Then it looks like we're going to need our scale closer here. We're going to need a felt wedge, looks like. And we're going to need, he says, to put a piece of wood under that felt wedge. All right, let's get a piece of wood. How about something really, really nice and woody? Let me look for something good here. Cut something a little prettier here. All right, so he suggests that felt wedge be set on a piece of wood here. So we're going to do that, which is probably going to mean we're going to have to go up a little, actually probably down a little lower, I guess. Probably right about there. Okay. We're going to zero that out, assuming we're going to use that here in a minute. Okay. Place a wedge on the scale and set the scale to 0. A wedge of hard felt attached to a piece of wood is recommended. Check. Determine the center of the exact point where the whipping heel cloth rests on the capstan. You can usually see that really well because it makes an indentation where the capstan pushes that whipping over and over. You can see a little indentation. So that's easy to tell. So we'll do the Steinway here. Oops. No, this is the Yamaha. All right, we'll do the Yamaha here. Okay, and we're going to do, actually, let's turn it around so we can see it really easily, which note we're grabbing. Make sure I don't get confused which note. Although, honestly, I don't think it's going to vary from note to note, right? The whipping weight should be the same. The whipping radius should be exactly the same. But we're going to do it anyway for all of them, just to make sure there's not something I'm overlooking. Okay, so we're going to take off C and C sharp. Let's see here. Come on, man. Just got to set this in here somewhat so that we can tell. C and C sharp 1. Okay. Take those out. Of course, if I did this all the time, it'd be a lot faster, but I don't plan on doing this all the time, actually. You might guess why. Guess what? My magnet tray has no magnet on the bottom. I will have to be careful. It's just a tray. Okay, these weapons are numbered, but we'll keep them in order anyway. Here's C3, C sharp 3. Okay. C sharp 3. Alrighty. C5, C sharp 5. I don't have all the notes memorized to their corresponding note numbers. That would be really handy. I know a few though. A440 is note number 49. Middle C is note number 40. Middle E is note 44. C8 is note number 88. I got that one down. So, you know, I know some stuff. All right, make sure it's right. We're going to go C7, C sharp 7. I'm going to go ahead and take my Steinway weapons off also, just so we have them all lined up, ready to measure. Let's flip this guy around. A lot of times people say, like, how can you do that to a $100,000, $200,000 piano? How can you do that to an $80,000 piano? But I would, you know, any part that I'm working on is not worth 80,000 or 100 or 200,000 in and of itself, right? I just say, well, if I break something, I can fix it. You know, usually there's not. Well, yeah, pretty much anything. I don't think there's anything that. Plus, I have insurance just in case, you know. But I don't think there's anything I could do to a piano, honestly. I mean, that didn't involve a forklift that would cost more than $5,000 at the most for me to fix. That's my guess. So if that gives anyone comfort at all, probably not. Let's see. C and C sharp 3. C5, C sharp 5, right there at the end, nice. I plan on making a video probably no more than 3 minutes long once I've processed and digested this data. Just comparing the two and highlighting the differences and anything learned from the exercise. So who knows how long that'll take me to actually produce, but hopefully not too long in the future. Okay, I've got all those set. I've got these set. We're ready to measure some whipping weights. Whipping radius weights, okay? If you're tuning in, I'm going to answer questions on the half hour and the hour. That's the way I want to run these from now on, just to help flow of work. And maybe to prompt you to ask questions that really, you know, comments, anything that's really burning, maybe to hopefully encourage you to do that. Okay, we want to put this right here. We want to put this right the exact point that hits. Okay, it's a little bit this way. All right. Okay, we want to zero that out. It's zeroed out. We want to put this down right where it hits. We want that to be vertical. And then we want to raise this up so that the weapon's parallel to the scale, okay? I'm gonna read the instructions, make sure I got that right. This is the Yamaha Note C1. And again, I would expect all these to be the same, but we'll go through the exercise. Determine the center of the exact point where the whip and heel cloth rests on the capstan. Rest the whip and heel cloth on the wedge on the scale. Position the wedge so that the whipping sets on the wedge at the capstan contact point. Got it? Rest the whip and flange on the lower jig tower roller with the flange tipped down as shown to the right, which is like this. Adjust the height of the tower jig so that the body of the whipping is horizontal. Okay, we've done that. The body being that lower portion. Be sure the flange center is vertically aligned with the center of the jig roller. Read the whipping height radius weight off the scale and record it on the data sheet. Use the abbreviation WW as the whipping radius weight column name. Got it. Okay. So we're going to take this weight here. So Yamaha note number 1 for whipping weight is, wait for it, 16.1 grams. I'm trying to think why this would change at all. I mean, the springs are a little heavier, or they get lighter. I guess the springs are a different gauge, you know, as you go up the scale a little bit. There's usually 2, 3, 4 gauges of spring depending on the maker of the part. Maybe it's because we're looking exactly where it actually hits, you know. This one's 16.6 grams, okay. Last one was 16.1, not much of a difference there. Just go through the exercise, it's not going to kill us. 16.7. All right, 16.7 and 16.8. It's going backwards from what I would expect. I would either expect them all to be the same or or maybe get a little lighter once you get to the treble. Ah, here we go. This one's lighter, so this must be a different gauge of spring. This one says 15.6. So that's a whole gram different. That's the first appreciable difference we've seen. Bing, bing. 15.7. Then we'll go the very top ones. We'll see if Yamaha, I don't know how many different springs Yamaha has. $15.3. Last one. Oh. 15.9, okay, all right. That's close to what we were getting before. So, nothing too exciting there yet. Let's do the Steinways. Go from the lowest here. Okay, we're going to look at where it hits. It hits pretty much right where it should, right in the center there. Go right here, we're going to go right here, we're going to adjust the height of this down a little bit to make that horizontal. And go in a little bit here. Make sure this is zeroed out, and here we go. Now I'm going, let's see, zeroed out, all right. This is C1 on the Steinway, and the whip-in weight is 17.7 grams. Next, C sharp, 16.1 grams. $16.1 grams again. $16.7 on that one. One more here to measure. And that's it for our measurements today. We'll get on to working on piano. 16.8. Very similar to the last one, right? $17.2, that's one's a little bit heavier. $16.6. Guess what? I'm missing a measurement. I must have goofed in grabbing these, so I got to backtrack a little bit. 16.6. 17.2, which we measured just a minute ago. That makes sense. Here's where my numbers don't jive. I must not have grabbed one there that I should have. 16.8. $16.8. Yep, now they're correct. Okay. So nothing earth-shattering that I'm seeing there. Take this off. Share that. I think we're done with the scale. I'll go ahead and show you these numbers just for fun. We're not interpolating anything from these. We're not figuring anything out yet. Let's see here. What time are we at? Almost 1:30. But these are the numbers here. These are just strike weights. Okay, you can kind of see a difference there in the relative weights of the strike. They get really similar towards the treble. A little more similar. Then you got the front weights of the keys. Remember, these keys are different shapes. The Yamaha keys are longer, so I would expect, different front weights required, and the geometry of the action is different. So I would expect you would need a different front weight or more front weight on the Yamaha to make it work, based on what we saw, right? Also, the hammers are heavier in the base of the Yamaha, and it's geared higher, so yeah, you're going to need more lead in the front for sure. This is the key ratio that I don't know what that implies yet, but this is the difference. Okay. And then the whip and weight, I mean, that's just showing, that's self-evident what that is, and it's pretty consistent. Some of the Yamaha whippings dip a little lighter there, so that's kind of maybe interesting. But that's what we have. You're welcome to share this, whatever. I don't care. And sorry, I made it look like we were going to add Yamahas, but take note, we're comparing them side by side for each of these, right? So, all right, now I'm going to get to some real work. So I'm going to clear these off. We're kind of done. I'm kind of done messing around with this. I'll digest it later, but I at least have all the measurements I need before I box this Yamaha up, get it ready to go out to the customer here. So I'm going to just start putting it back together. And at 1:30 here, I'll take comments and questions. Oh, it's 1:30. What do you know? Let's check the chat. Okay. So on a half hour, on the hour, I'm going to answer your questions or comments. Here's a question. Okay, here's some questions. Zachary Braxton says, I'm not going back to Salt Lake. Love, life, peace. Okay. All right. Then I have Vergeman 3. What's the most expensive thing you could break working on a piano? Crack the soundboard, gash a polished ebony finish that you could polish out. Breaking the soundboard would be a pretty expensive one because you got a lot of work after that. Also, if you were to crack the steel plate somehow on a piano, that would almost be game over on it. But that one could be bad. But yeah, probably cracking the soundboard. That'd probably be the most expensive, whatever you can. So I'm not sure what Zachary meant there, but anyway. So okay, so that's that. We'll check the comments, questions again. In a half hour, on the half hour and the hour. I'm gonna put things together and we'll keep working here. Switch this camera around. There we go. Try and pitch up maybe a little higher. That might be nice. I'm just gonna be putting this Yamaha together. So I'm gonna put you on my microwave, okay? Hopefully that works for y'all. We'll get working. Sometimes on a metal rail, the screw will meet resistance and you'll think, is this cross-threaded? But it's really not. And you just have to kind of turn through it. I hate to say that because then someone will think, oh, this isn't cross-threaded, and then they'll strip it. But it does feel like that sometimes. These Yamahas have aluminum rails, young chains, Kawais. Those are some that I can think of. And I don't mind a metal rail. I'm not against it. It just feels a little different when you're trying to get the screw back in. So it's just important to be aware of how not to break something, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Stick the action stack screws back in. And this is the last time that I need to torment this poor Yamaha that we've been prepping over the last few days. He's going to be ready to go to his home. He, she, I'm not sure. I think this one's a he because he gave me so much trouble. Alright, so with the Yamaha, I'm tightening these front screws first, making sure the action's all the way back that way. Back threading first into the original screw threading. And the other side on the front, make sure it's all the way that way. And the back here on the sides. I'm going to go ahead and do this side too. I like to do that. Make sure that's kind of set where it's going to be straight, not put any strain on things. Then I'm going to do the back row. Thanks for hanging out in the shop here. Or even after the fact, you know. Okay, then we're going to do these angled screws in the front very last for tightening. Take them out first, put them in last on the angled screws. Okay, then there's a part I need to put on the key upstock rail on that piano. For this, we have some nuts with slots that tighten it down. We have nuts without slots that go on the bottom, okay? And then we have the two Phillips screws on the end. So I just run these nuts down just above the key here. There's a proper way to set this rail and an improper way. And the proper way is you don't want it to interfere with the key height at all, okay? It's got to be above there, but only just by maybe, a couple millimeters. If you take a sharp, because the sharp wood sticks out higher than the natural wood, just a couple millimeters of play there ought to do it, okay? On that one. Then we want to cinch this down. Again, this rail has no function to the touch of the piano. It's just to keep the keys in position when they ship it and turn the piano on its side, okay? Otherwise they would come off their key pins on the front and be just offset. It would be a little disconcerting to see when you unboxed it. Okay, we're going to tighten these down. Tighten this guy down. You do want to make sure on the ends, since these nuts we set so that there's clearance, make sure on the ends that you can still lift up the sharp key. Sometimes this goes down lower and you need to put a punching in there to space it up so that it doesn't push those keys down when you tighten it down. You can double check that the hammer line stays the same where we set it. It's not every which way, like, that's one check to make sure that stayed put where it needs to be. Okay, we're gonna clean things off here. Get my tools out of the way. These are clear caster cups that I'm sending with the piano. They're nice to have. And actually, once I kind of clear this off, I'm actually going to shift over to working on this Steinway D because I'm going to have to glue some hammers and that will require dry time. So I might as well glue them first and then put this together so I'm not wasting time as I think about it. So I'm going to do that. But we'll get this Yamaha action out of the way. Key slip. Took those caster cups. When the piano goes on its side, if you put things along that straight edge, they'll just rest on that edge just fine. You know, as long as they're wrapped up in something soft, they won't do any harm. So when they open the piano, there will be their goodie bag right there waiting for them. I'm going to tighten down the cheek block screws so I don't forget. All right. Okay, super bright piano, but nice and beautiful, brilliant. I like it. Okay, I'm going to get this D action ready to go. And my first order of business is to determine where to glue the treble hammers on the D. Because we keep having this issue where I'll duplicate what's there on the old piano. We'll glue the hammers in place, trim them, align them, everything, put it in the piano, voice it up, start doing the regulation voicing, and then I listen to it, kind of like I did with this 1901 here, this A, and then realize, these need to be hung differently. Now the challenge is that's hard for me to determine based off of one or two notes. So I've avoided, just doing a few samples and checking. But I'm going to try that on this piano. I've got just two samples. So moving the action in and out, try and find that sweet spot so that I don't have to redo, hanging all the hammers. And it's always to the same, it's always a little further towards the pianist is what we're finding. So I'm just trying to refine that process to eliminate that extra step if I can. So let's get the keyboard for the D. Because now that the D is strung, I can hear, and we chipped it up, I can hear the intensity of those notes close to what it's going to be. First, I want to check that someone eased the keys. They were supposed to, but they're too tight, some of them. You know what? It's actually okay for what we're doing. It's good enough. Because I'm going to take the stack off again and hang the hammers. I'll have time to ease those more later if I want to. Okay. We put new back checks on this piano, which are those gold, yellow colored things in the back. And right now they're interfering with the hammers and the shanks. I have to bend them back. So right now to screw this on properly, I have to lift everything up first to get them out of the way. Okay. And I can carefully screw that on. Kind of cleaning up. The last person that did not clean up. This piano's starting to look really nice. We're getting ready to send up the door. Getting this guy ready to work on here. Someone's misplaced those screws. Let's see where they are. Just getting all the parts assembled here for this action. There they are, right in front of my nose. Couldn't find those stack screws here. Finally found them there. Where's my screwdriver? Or any screwdriver that would work. Oh, that's between the black one, yeah. There you go. Unfortunately, I spend a lot of time chasing around stools. Where did I put tools, not stools? Where did I put that kind of a thing, you know? Let's see what's going on. Not here. Darn it. Probably right in front of my face again. Well. Oh, I wonder if it's in my backpack where it goes. That could be the case. No, it's not. That would have been too easy. See where it goes. Of course it wouldn't be there. I have lots of screwdrivers, but that one I'm particularly fond of for this type of work. And so I'll have to think long and hard about where that got set. Doing this filming's kind of got my head scattered a little bit, so I'm trying to figure that out. Go ahead and put this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten all these, get it installed, stick it in the piano, and give a listen, basically. And try and determine how we want to hang these hammers, what distance out. Okay. Of course, the action's not regulated yet, but that doesn't matter. I mean, not. I'm going to try to do the best I can before we regulate it, because I can't regulate it with no hammers, right? So, see what time it is. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. What do you know? Okay, I'll take questions. I'll look at questions here on the chat or comments and address them on the half hour and the hour. So let's see what we have here, if there's any comments. Okay, what we have. Live chat. Okay. Rich the Third says casters made my piano a height that was perfect to play at. It was just too short for me to fit my legs under until we put the casters on. Fit your legs under, wow. Yeah. So was it on carpet, I wonder? You know, a lot of times if it's on deep carpet, especially, the piano will be too low. Sometimes when you put casters on, it'll be a little high. And then Jesse Balboa says, howdy, Jesse. Thanks for tuning in. So this is our little take question pause here on the half hour and the hour. And that's what we got so far. Makes sense. Anyone who's joining, welcome. Thanks for coming into the shop. I'm just kind of working on a few different things here, and we'll just keep at it. I'll take some more comments or questions. If you put them in the chat, I'll check them on the hour and the half hour, and then I'll respond if you have, at that point. So let's switch the camera around. We'll keep working on this action, keep trying to get it together. I'm going to go take a 5-minute, and I'll be right back. Let's see. Try and get my wood block here first. Get you propped up where you can kind of see stuff, see what we're doing here. And we'll go from there. I'll be back. And where's my sign here? There we go. I'll be back in 5. Does that work? Then people kind of know what's up. Is that visible? It's not really visible like that, huh? Because of the lighting. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back after the break. Here. I'm going to keep putting this piano together. And one thing right now, our next step here is to get it into action. Since the piano's strung now, we want to hear what it sounds like. I mean, I know it's not going to sound its best yet, but what I mean by that is we want to hear what it sounds like, particularly for these treble hammers up here. But I got to get these back checks out of the way. The new back checks that we installed, you know, they're just installed however right now. Let me see if I can give you a view of that. And right now they don't let the hammer drop down all the way. It would just get caught. We wouldn't be able to play the piano so well. So I'm just going to bend these back a little bit, just real quick, like I'm bracing the key with my left hand. It's not back far enough. Even that. It's okay if I can go extreme because I don't have any parts in the back of this action yet, you know. So I can get pretty extreme on this if I want without a problem. And we'll adjust where these actually go later, right? This is just to get them out of the way initially. This is kind of the story with new parts versus, you know, just touching up regulation on a new piano or something. You got to do some steps initially before you can get going here. Someone texted my phone here that we're streaming on. Let's see what's going on, just in case it's important. Nope, not important. Okay. So I'm gonna keep, I'll keep just bending these back. And you'll notice we haven't trimmed the shanks yet either. So I was kind of waiting to do that in one step once we decided where we wanted the treble hammers to be. Then we'll trim them exactly to that so it looks perfectly nice on the back of the hammer tail, as you see in pianos. Don't usually see a shank sticking out the back, right? I want to make sure I can kind of play them with the keys, like making sure nothing's getting in the way, and it's so far so good. Do this next section here. And this is just really quick, you know. I am feeling with my fingers to kind of get them all kind of even back there, which isn't important, but it can make my next steps a little bit faster if I have to do the same degree of bend on each one after this. It'll make it a little bit faster. So I do kind of want them in a row. Plus I'm kind of OCD that way. And I know I throw out that term OCD. I think too many people use that as a joke. I'm not like clinically that way, but I know it is a very serious thing, you know. But how else do you say it, right? I don't know. I guess I'm very particular or neurotic about certain things, especially lining things up. I don't mind if they're in line. It's a beautiful thing to me. so I don't mean to offend anyone, certainly. You know, having close friends and family that do suffer from that in earnest, in a clinical way. Okay, so great. Right now, and I don't expect anything to work really well on this, okay? And I'm still going to shape the hammers. I might harden these hammers. I don't think I've hardened them at all yet. So they just have whatever lacquer they had from the factory on them. And these shanks here, they're mostly just sticking up because I'll just want to make sure I don't break anything. I think we should be okay though. But I'll have to watch when I push the action in that this goes down, okay? It's just the way the keys are weighted. They're weighted quite heavily here because it was probably a nice light touch before. Now I want to get the piano situated where I can work on it. So I got to shift things around, get this 1901 Steinway, which is about ready to go out the door. You can see it's just beautifully polished up with that mahogany. I'm going to scoot things around, turn this D around, and we'll get going, okay? So I'm just going to set you down. All right, let's see here. Best place to put this? I don't know. But we will find a place to put the camera. So hopefully it doesn't fall on the floor, right? It's a little bit higher up. That's maybe a better perch there. Okay. can on a cart, obviously. We use this cart for, so we can raise it up to drill the pin block, the new pin blocks. But it's also a little easier to wheel around in this case, maybe. Okay, let's go with that maybe almost. There we go. In fact, we might as well just turn them all the way around. You can see better. That's heavy. Okay. What we got in here? Some dust. With our vacuum. There's our vacuum. Preparing the way here. How we're doing on time? Not bad. A little behind where I thought I'd be at this point, but that's okay. Clean it out more as we go. That's just a start. That's just a start. I'm realizing, did I check the mic's on? Good, good. Okay, we're gonna put this action in there carefully. Now I do need the cheek blocks. I'm gonna go grab the cheek blocks, set that while we're at it. Come to think of it, we did we go with the cheek blocks on that? Well, that's kind of bizarre. Might need to make a call here. See what we did with the other action parts on this one. Might need to make a call. Hey, do you know where the cheek blocks are for the D? The D is in dog. Ah, I see now. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, see ya. All right. They're under blankets. Of course. We're tired. We have to walk all the way around. Right now, it's amazing here. Too many pianos. We got to get some of these pianos out of here, basically. The reason I need the cheek block so bad is that on a Steinway, they locate the action. Most pianos, they locate the action. So I need to see, okay, are we in the same spot there, you know? That's where it's going to be roughly. And if so, how do we want to change that? This piano's going to be a monster when we're done. It's going to be a monster. I could tell from the soundboard, when you hit the soundboard, it would just boom like you're in a movie theater with surround sound. It was pretty cool. But I've got two samples here. The very top note and then top of the section. You know, where am I going to go with that? Let's see. Ah, see, when I pulled it towards me, the sound came alive. And on this section, it came even more to life when I came further. And now this one's dead. It's just hitting like a block of wood, right? I'm going to check this adjustment. This is centered, which I like. I like to start with it centered. So I like to hang the hammer so that the people after me can make adjustments for it back if they need to make better sound, you know, as the hammer wears down and whatnot. So I'm going to put this in. Actually, no, I need to put some tape down here to make some marks, just to give me kind of put a number to where I need to move things. I can look back here too, you know. Like that hammer comes out of the piano, because there's no string. The string makers had to make us a new string on that one. So look at that. That was kind of fun. Anyway. I know it just sounds like a mess to you on the camera. I'm not gonna worry about, you know, high quality sound at this point, but basically, I do want to make some adjustments. But we're gonna start off with the primary goal at hand, which is to find out where to hang those treble hammers. Let's see if we're to the question point yet. Where are we? No, another 6 minutes. On the half hour at 2:30, I'll address questions and comments in the chat if you want to put them there, and then we'll talk about what you're thinking about. First thing, I'm going to get this action out. Because I want to put some masking tape here so I can make an index line and then a line where I want to change things to. Masking tape. I'm actually, there's certain points where I get excited. I know I say that a lot, but this is one of those, okay? The piano's starting to come together. Like, I heard some tone out of this piano that not too long ago was just in pieces, right? Had no bridge cap. You know, we routed off the, you know, it had no anything, no strings. And now it's just coming to life. This is a very exciting part for me. So I'm going to go here. I probably don't need this length of masking tape, but I'm just doing it anyway. And I'm also going to mark the base. I'm not going to rehang the hammers in the base, but what I am going to do probably, see, the base is supposed to be like a set point, right? Where this is totally fit in there and can't go left, forward or back. So I think what I'm probably going to do is chisel out a bit, plug the screw holes, move it forward, because I've been doing that on these pianos lately a little bit, and it's been improving things quite a bit. The strike point isn't as picky for sure in the bass, but what happens is when I do that and the thing's kind of situated straight along with the strike line with what I'm doing, everything tends to work out better. And I hear like a little more sustain, I feel like, coming out of that piano. So I'll probably, you know, we're talking like a 1/8 of an inch probably, chisel that, plug the holes, move it forward. And I want to get a measurement on that now, since, you know, I can leave the tape there. It'll be there for when I'm ready to do that. When I start regulating and voicing. So we'll go ahead and put tape down. I don't need much again. But hey. So now I'm going to stick this back in. Oh, is it question time? Was it 2:30? Nope, almost. I'm going to waste more time checking if it's 2:30. I need an alarm, right? That's what I should do. I'll do that next break. I'll set an alarm for the half hour and the hour. I just think that might be a good way to, so you as a viewer know what to expect if you tune in at any time. Because I know these streams have gotten like, you know, I'm not fooled into thinking, wow, someone's going to sit there for 10 hours, you know, while I work this whole day, or, you know. But I just thought you could come in and out as you choose, you know, and there might be something that's interesting. And I'll try and describe it, so at least you know what I'm working on during that period of time. So here we go. So I'm gonna put this down. When I don't have my pedals, I don't like to shove this down. I grab the glide bolt in the action to be able to set that. I gotta take a call. One moment here. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Hopefully I remember to unmute. Right. Okay, I'm back. Let me just check, see if there's any. I missed a check in there with the comments. Let's see if we have anything. And nothing new, so that's fine. We'll keep checking it as needed. Check it on the half hour and the hour. So I'm going to keep working. Okay, so the next thing here, I've got my action in place. Oops. Okay, I'm going to draw a line where the front of this is right now. I'll show you that up close here. Okay, I'm going to take this here and I'm just going to run it along the front of the key frame. I'm going to do the same over here in this section where we're going to take another test. Might as well do it here too, just in case, just to check. This node is not part of this section, and I don't like to hang custom curves. I don't like to hang over a section and then something weird. I'd rather have the action frame situated where it's going to work kind of everywhere. Maybe take one section and hang it back or forward, because that's kind of conventionally done. So I like to kind of stick with that convention. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line on the base here. Okay. And we're just going to see. Okay, we're going to see now when I move things a little bit where we're going to move things to. Okay. So my first step here is this part. So that's the maximum tone right there, okay? So I'm going to draw a line right there. Now I'm going to listen here and pull forward. It grows. Check this one. I'm going to put it back to my line here. And don't worry, this tone will be built up much, much more after I add lacquer to the hammers, regulate, all that. But let's hear the C sharp down here in this section. See if it changes at all if I pull forward. Didn't change for me for the better necessarily. Now I'm going to check the bass. I'm going to pull it forward where, oh, I'm sorry, let's see, is it pushed back or pull forward? Actually push back. It's actually to put the bass. I like it better when it goes back a little bit, which actually lines right up with the ridge that they have here. If you can see, that has a raised portion where the action actually sits on. When I line that up kind of more or less flush with that, that's actually where I like the sound better. And I've been finding that with more than just this piano. So I'm going to make another line here, kind of indicate that distance that we're going to change the block. And I'm going to say, I'm going to put these here just to remind myself that I'm going that direction into the piano, okay? Now, hopefully that will work with, all the parts in the back, with the clearance once we get the dampers in and things like that. But if it doesn't, then we'll rethink it. I'll check that maybe before we'll rethink it, but isn't that beautiful? Look at the length of those strings. They're just a mile long. I love it. Okay, so I've chosen, I'm going to pull this out onto the bench and we're going to take a look at it. Okay. All right. That was good. Nice, Hiram. Okay. So let's go take a look at that measurement and put a number to it. I'm gonna go millimeters, just for fun. Millimeters, millimeters. Okay. Oh, I didn't put my second line there. Okay, I'm backtracking. I'm gonna stick it back in. No. Oh no, I remember what it was. I decided basically I didn't have any tape actually here. So from wherever I hang this top section, I'm gonna go 1/8 of an inch back from that. So I can remember that well enough. But let's see what this is. So from where this is, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 millimeters. No, sorry, I messed up here. 2.5 millimeters. Okay, 2.5 millimeters back from where my sample is hung, and then I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch back from that. Once I set that for this second treble section here, then the rest I'm going to leave here. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up moving this block back. But okay, as I'm talking through this, I want to stick the action back in and be sure. Measure twice, cut once, right? You know, we can't undo some of these things as easily. So I'm going to stick the action back in and just confirm what I'm planning. This is not so hard to do. It's worth another look. And so what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to put the base where I'm planning on putting it, right in flush with that ledge. Then I'm going to put this here. Make sure that still sounds the best in that spot with a new pivot point in the base, okay? Because I pivoted the base a little differently now, right? So the base is a little further back from where it was. So I want to, from there, see if my line that I made still is the best sounding place. So that's it right there. Here's my pen. Let me just see if it's the same pen line or not. Yeah, it's the same. So that line still holds true. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, we're going to go to that line. Okay. Just marking more clearly what my plan is before we proceed. Alrighty then. Then I'm going to take this area, this middle section. I'm going to put another index line. And I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch back from that. Let's see. I sworn I had a ruler that was standard kicking around. You know, these days it doesn't seem to matter how many rulers I buy, they disappear. Oh, here it is. They just have a way of disappearing, even when you say put them back in the same place. What do you know? Okay. So here I have my line that I'm going to for the treble. And then underneath there is the line where the cheek block wants to put it. So I'm going to change where I glue the hammer that distance. And then from here, I'm going to make a line that's 1/8 of an inch away from there, just about. And I'm going to hang that section at that line, okay? So 1/8 of an inch different. I'm going to check that though, the sound. The way I'm going to do that, I'll just listen here. My G. I'll pull it up that 1/8 of an inch. It's a lot more open. There, it's pinched. Okay, so yeah. And I don't have a sample here, so I'm gonna hang this section in. That'll open that tone and give me a lot better open and sustain here. Pinched, open. I feel very comfortable with that. So we're gonna hang some hammers. We're gonna do it on this rickety old portable table here, okay? But we're ready to get cooking. I'm gonna take the action out. I'm gonna take my screws out. Excuse me. Well, that was lovely. I dropped a screw in there. We'll find it. Don't let me forget that that screw was over there. I dropped it in the action a bit. Okay. There we go. Put you a little higher so you can kind of see what we're doing here. And I'm going to take a look at the chat in about 8 minutes or so and see if there's any questions, concerns, comments. So I wasn't sure if I'd be able to tell real well from the samples, from just 2 samples, what I wanted, but I was. Even without the hammers being hardened with lacquer, I wasn't sure about that. So now that I know I can do that, I'll probably do that with all the Steinway panels that we're doing. Just hang a few samples first. It should cut down on the amount of work. All right. There was the one screw that fell under there I've got to retrieve. I've got these screws here. Let me get my pill bottle. I can put them in so we don't lose them. We may not need them for a little bit here, and certainly don't want to lose track of things. Got my pill bottle labeled stack screws. Okay, and I've got one more underneath here. Where'd you go, friend? There he is. Okay. Got this guy in there. I'm going to just put those up in our piano Tupperware. Get rid of the stack for a second. Again. Get rid of the keyboard out of our way. Okay, get our hammer hanging jig. And that's not a dance, by the way, the hammer hanging jig. Aha. Okay. So I don't know if you can kind of see what we're up to here. We first of all have to rehang these samples where they need to go. Okay, so I'm going to grab some pliers to pop those off. It's really tricky to pop them off with such a long shank sticking up on the top. So it's not super easy to hang these samples and then rehang them, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull this screw all the way out maybe. Let's see if that will work for us. Okay, yeah, there we go. Well, that didn't work. I'm not very smart here. I'm in a little bit of an emergency, but it's not that bad. Okay, I need my screwdriver without moving that, so I don't break this part. You see it all here, mistakes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I made a really dumb move here. Not that bad. It's not that bad. I've got lots of extra Steinway hammer shanks. But I wasn't thinking too well on this one. Okay, let's see if we can get that out. Because I took the screw out and then the shank just got forced into the screw hole and got stuck. That's not what I wanted. Let me see if my other type of pliers will reach for this better. These pliers are amazing, but they're not so much designed. They can't reach so high when the shank's sticking up like that. Whereas these can, but they don't have much force. Okay, so I need to go get a heat gun to help with this. And before I do that, I'm going to take the measurement of where this is. We're going to go. So I'm taking a measurement from the center pin to the center of the hammer molding. And that's 128.5 millimeters. It's not 130, so it's a little less than 5 1/8. Closer to 5 1/16. So 5 1/8 is the current spec standard when they make the pianos now in the Steinway factory. Okay, 128.5. So remember that. And then we'll glue in our heat gun here. Get the power. Let's see, where's my phone? I'm going to pop this off and then I'll look at questions on the chat if you want to throw something up. Questions, comments, whatever. I don't believe you learn much till you ask a question, honestly. Okay. So here's that. We'll let that heat up for a sec. Get my pliers ready. What was that number again? Should have written it down. 128.5, right? 128.5, yep. 128.5, 128.5. I'm just gonna heat the glue on the hammer a bit. It gets a little softer so it'll pop off easier. Okay, let's try that. Grab this. There it goes. Popped right off. The glue kind of grabs still. And put these down for safety. I didn't damage anything, but it's a close one, huh? All right. So I got that off. Trying to clean the glue off while it's still kind of soft, but I can get it off another way too. Then we're gonna do the same for this guy. I'm gonna put my screws where they go so I don't lose track of them, since I'm only taking a couple off. All right, we'll heat this glue up. All right. Pop this one off. The glue's like rubber now, so it's a good time to kind of peel it off easily. All right. Okay. Let's heat this up, grab the glue off a little more. Ow. It's plenty warm. I'll tell you that if you're wondering. Plenty warm. A little more off of here. There, just kind of peel it off at that point. Now my hands could stand to be cleaner. Alright, let's put these shanks back on where they go. Just on the rail here. down so much more. Here we've got our hammers, we've got our, that we're gonna put back on. We don't need this thing anymore, we can put him away. We didn't have to use him as it turned out. Okay. There's that. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, past question time. Let me take a look here. See if anyone has thought of anything here to comment on. Let's see. Live chat. Nope. All right. We are all just content to observe. Okay, we will keep working. Keep working here. All right. Now, I'm going to rinse my hands off. They're actually not that bad, but I like to work with really clean hands when I'm doing the hammers. Okay. I need some calipers. In fact, I need a few things for hammer hanging. Let me grab them. Okay. I'm going to set these calipers to the right distance. Now you'll remember that the old distance where it was hung was 128.5 millimeters. And I want to go 2.5 millimeters further than that. So that's going to put me at 131 millimeters, okay? Oh, wrong direction. Wrong direction. I need to come this way, not longer. I need to come shorter. So 28.5 minus 2.5, 128.5 is 126. Okay, so we're going to run this to 126. And that will be our magic spot. I'm going to go just there, okay. For those of you who are conversionally challenged like me, let's see what that is in inches. Because, I mean, this is an older piano. The way they constructed them was different then. So things could end up different where they needed to hang these. So believe it or not, that's less. That's less than 5 inches. It is. It's kind of a gutsy move, but I'm going to do it because I heard it. You know, I heard the sound. And for the action to be located where it needs to be, and for the sound to be good, that's where it's got to go. So, I can double check my reasoning here. We measured 128.5 on these samples. I could check this here for fun. So that is hung, it should have been the same, but maybe not. That is hung right at 130. That's right at 5 1/8. Let me check my line down here. About 128.5. I don't know, man. I can still see my collar here. I'm just mulling it over before I commit, right? So I don't go somewhere I can't come back from. So that's where my collar was, right there. And that was, that's a little longer actually. My collar changed on me, huh? Stay there. I think that's more like what it was. Yeah. Tell you what, I'm gonna split the difference of what I'm seeing, and then I know that I can make a little bit of an adjustment with the cheek block. I think that would be a better move. So what I'm assuming is hung at 5 1/8. Because this is at 5 1/8 and I hung all these in a row. Yeah. You know what I can do? I can just glue this one on where I think, and the glue will set up quickly enough we can confirm it again. You're like, well, isn't that why you did this? But yeah, I'm just being extra. Second guessing myself. Just being a little extra careful. Just in case there was an error there in my thinking or measuring somewhere. So I'm going to grab something. I'm just going to just grind some glue off of here so we can push it further without problem. Dry fit it, make sure it's nice and loose all the way down. I'm going to ream this out a little bit. Looking for my hammer reamer. Here's a reamer, and this is tapered. I can just run it in here and kind of loosen up any glue that got in there, making it bigger. So that'll help me so I can hang the angles I want and everything on this hammer. Because the glue kind of would have swelled things up, you know, I want to be able to kind of put it at 90 for sure. Do the same treatment to this other sample. Take that glue collar off, and so forth. Take a little more off. I can make it narrower and reduce that shank even more. There, now I think it's clean enough. Dry fit it here. A little bit tight. Not tight, it's just not as loose as when they come new, which is really nice when you're hanging it because you have maximum ability to move it around and get it right just in the position you want. Get some glue off of there. Do the reamer. dry fit it again. Okay. So what I think I want to do is to set this top one at 5 inches even. Okay, we'll put it about there. Grab my glue. We'll put some glue on here. We'll grab there. Spin the hammer on. Make sure it goes all the way around a time or two to spread it out before you kind of settle down to the place you're going to be. Just check my measurement here. This should be 5 inches. Okay, I need to go further down the shank. All right. And okay, that's at 5. Now I'm going to check when this drops. I still have clearance in the back. I'm checking that the tail isn't going to hit any parts. And it looks good. I'm going to check that this is straight up and down most of the way. I'm going to check that the hammer's 90 degrees with this little square from the shank. There we go. There's my 90 degrees. And I'll kind of cycle through those different things again. To make sure we haven't moved it off where we want. And by then, should be pretty set. Okay, I'm going to glue the sample, and I want to go 1/8 in from where this is. Which on this piano, I might have to make some adaptations in the hammer tails for some more clearance, honestly. To get what I want. Otherwise, this tail, when it comes back, it might click on these lower parts if there's not enough clearance there. We'll see. We'll do what we have to. I'll do whatever I have to do as long as the sound is gorgeous and the touch is good. Like, I tend to kind of just do what the piano needs at that point. Spin it all the way around a few times here. Get down to where we think we're going to go, which is quite short, actually. Let's see how we ended up. Almost there, almost there, almost. Let's see if we can get them further. Whoa, how did I do that? Went way too far all of a sudden. Pull it back here. Okay, that's it right there. That's the spot. Yeah, see, listen to this. It clicks on the hammer on the back of the whippets, but what I'll have to do is just sand some wood off of there. Maybe off the tails to for clearance, so that we don't get any clicking, and then that should solve the issue. And this doesn't mean that you're going to hear them click for sure, but okay, I'm going to check my squareness. your squareness. Take your highness. Okay. Fix the tilt. Look at the distance again. Look at the square again. And all the while the glue is getting thicker, right? And it's allowing that hammer to stay in place a little better. So we're gonna let that dry for a moment or two. Because before I go hanging the rest, I want to confirm, I want to stick it on the stack and confirm that this is going to work with the sound and everything. And so we'll go from there. Yeah. So while that's drying, I'm going to give it at least 15 minutes. I'm going to keep working on putting this Yamaha, getting it ready for delivery, just cleaning it out and things. So here we go with that. Just set you over here. Let's see, I'm just checking stuff. All right, we're gonna just open the lid on this piano. I need a little bit of room here to clean things. Okay, I'm gonna put you in the piano here, and I'm gonna clean out this. I mean, it's really clean already, but it's a brand new piano. We've had it open in the shop a little bit. I just want to make it immaculate here. We're even gonna wax it a little bit where I've been putting my little grubby fingers as we've been getting it ready. There's kind of no way around that. Let's see, wear gloves the whole time, which I don't wear gloves the whole time, but we do wear gloves for a lot in here. So I'm gonna go to my car, grab my cleaning kit, and get to town on this like I normally would. So my vacuums in the shop and everything get really dirty. Too dirty for me, for a piano that needs to be this clean. So, just gonna stick my vacuum on a chair. It's always a tough balance for me to strike. How much time, resources to put into maintaining the cleanliness of your workstation versus doing things that are profitable. If I had my way, I would take a lot more time, I feel like, and just keep it just immaculately clean, in between each job. But not everyone I work with feels exactly the same way, so we just try and strike a balance. But it is getting pretty bad in here. But usually what we'll do when we move a piano out or two, there's a lot more room on the floor. We'll do a deep clean then. So, let's see, I need some electricity. Electricity. Just behind you here, getting that extension cord in. Plug my vacuum in. Alright. There we go. Grab my brush for cleaning. call this cleaning the piano, which it is, but it's kind of, I mean, it's really more like a dusting, you know. If the piano gets much more dirty than needing a dusting, I mean, good luck. You're not gonna make too much headway with it, you know, without repainting things. Again, go to the other side of the piano. We get back there on the piano. Okay. This is that goodie bag I was telling you about. Keys and whatnot go with the piano. All that stuff that you never use. Sometimes. Alright. Get that. Get the inside rim here. All the surfaces on the middle. And these will be just fine in transport right there, I'm pretty sure. If not, the movers will put it where they find is the best place. They're conscientious of that, usually. Okay, wipe the dampers here. Just in case any dust got on that rim. Wipe these out. Okay, you see I've got lots of fingerprints and things I need to get rid of there. So we'll work on that. First thing, I'm just getting the dust out. Okay, now I'm gonna go get microfiber rag. Brand new clean one. Okay, so we're gonna use these a bit. First of all, I just want to clean off the black with a brand new rag and some detailer spray. It's just a good cleaner. I'm not wiping very hard here. You look at a piano, it scratches. Doesn't matter what kind of finish it is, you know. So, unfortunately, that's kind of the case. Luckily, they can be shined and buffed. I'm going to clean the prints off initially here. Start with that. See if I put my hands anywhere on here, we'll take care of that. around the rim. Just in case there's a little bit of dust there, I think. But that'll be able to be cleaned off, you know, just with some dusting on the other end, for sure. Got some residue there, looks like, from packing materials. We'll get that cleaned off. Let me go grab some more cleaner here. There we go. Some kind of packing tape residue or something that was on there. Some kind of packing tape residue, but we got it off. In fact, you can't even tell, like, that's mirror shine, right? That's a mirror of the piano. Pretty good, huh? Pretty nice polish they put on it for sure. So that got rid of that residue. That's good. Now, I skipped. I'll check the chat. I guess I skipped my half-hour check here. Let me take a look. Let's see. We do have. Okay, so Rich the Third says, "What did you spray on that rag when cleaning?" I'll show you exactly what I sprayed with that. Let me check your other questions too. When I got my piano, I was focused on the fact they didn't deliver the key, since I've never had the key to a piece of furniture with a keyhole. It was so distracting I didn't notice they delivered it. The wrong piano. Oh my goodness. Wow. You had the wrong piano delivered to you? How did that happen? How did that happen? Anyway, this is the spray for cleaning that I use. I mean, you could just use a detailing spray. I've got a video on this where oh, this is backwards, isn't it? Oh, wow, that's tricky. It's Meguiar's Quick Detailer. What happens if I flip the camera? Let's see if we have any luck getting a true image of that. There we go. Meguiar's Ultimate Quick Detailer. I feature this a lot in my cleaning videos. I've interviewed the gentleman who finishes for us. Let me give you an idea of his work right here. Okay, on this 1901 Steinway A, he's been getting ready to go. He's excellent, you know, just an expert in furniture, finishing, everything, all things furniture. And he recommended this to me originally, and I did an interview with him, and then we kind of summed that up in a little sheet that people can just download. You know, it's just like a $1.99 download or something like that. Or you can watch the whole interview. It's on the channel here. Is how to clean the outside of my piano or something like that. But let me keep looking here. Oh, you had they just delivered the wrong finish. Okay, but let me, while I have you, I can give you the short of that video right now. He also says that when you have this kind of this is a high gloss polyester finish. With this kind of a finish, you can use wax. The car waxes. Basically, you treat it like a car finish. So today, I'm going to put a little turtle wax on it in the areas that I was working, not the whole thing. You know, I'm not going to. They polished the lid just great. I'm going to keep that Saran wrap on there for the customer, but that will actually put a protective. Carnauba wax will put a protective coat on it and actually help the shine of your high gloss piano. Whereas if you have a satin piano, this looks glossy, but it should be satin. This is true satin right here, right? So if you have a satin piano with rub marks like that, you obviously don't want to use the wax, otherwise it'll just high gloss over time as you keep rubbing that. But first I'm going to clean this off with the detailer. If I only apply the wax to part of it, will I be able to see some parts of it? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is clear. This will just put a clear coat on it, basically, if anything. So I don't, being black, you're not going to notice a difference on that. So, and so, but initially I'm just cleaning it off. I'm gonna do the surface of this with the cleaner too and the keys before I pull out the wax. So, good question. Good question. It doesn't have to be this specific detailer, but this is a good one and it's readily available. It's a great McGuire's, I think, is kind of a well-known detailer line of products, right? So, for dusting, one thing that this kind of a detailing spray will do, Christoph was saying, Christoph is the finisher. He was saying that it'll help. What am I saying? The if you have static on there, then the dust gets attracted to it, right? So if you need to neutralize that static, this will do that. Okay, I'm going to get the parts that are hard to reach and see. Clean the keys here real quick. Yeah, where this is all a mere shine, you're not going to notice the difference of where I'm waxing it. So, and I'm going to do it pretty judiciously and carefully here. I'm going to take 2 new rags. I'm going to use a wet one and then a dry one to buff. Let's see if I can set you somewhere where you can kind of watch me from above, so to speak. Let's see. Let's see if that's any good. Hopefully that's okay for you. And let me get a couple new rags out. Detail it out. That's actually looking pretty good just with that application, but I am gonna buff it too. It's looking pretty shiny to me. I'm going to drop the lid here part of the way. And where some dust has settled on top of here, I want to get rid of that. Just really lightly here. Okay. I'm going to hit that with the detailer just to help the dust be repelled a little bit. Last finish, here we are. This is pretty clean. This, hit it with the dry. Show you from kind of the bird's eye view here. So we're getting pretty shiny and clean there. Looking good. All right, yeah, not bad. So I'm gonna seal the baby up. Confident that we've done everything we can to get it sounding super great. And I gotta put the fall board on. This will get rid of the fall board, I guess. Let me do that. We'll give the same cleaning treatment to the fall board. Don't want to get some dust off it here. First, before we get close. Okay. So it's pretty dirty as is. We'll fix that. Okay. That was pretty clean, but we'll rub a bit of wax on there. Dry. Open that up. Okay. Inside of it. That's great. Okay. Kind of happy with that. Now we'll get the music disc. Okey doke. This piece. And we'll hit that with the dry. Just out of there. Okay, we'll drop that down. In there. Okay, now I think we're good. Shut everything up. Okay. Just in case there's some dust on top of there. Just kind of hit the top of this. Oops. Yeah, there's a little bit of a residue here and there from something sticky they put on it, but it does clean off with the detailer, so I'm comfortable with that. I think we're ready to ship it out. And yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of push you out of the way a little bit. You know what? We're not ready to ship it out. I'll tell you why. Casters. I have to dress the casters. But let's see where we're at here. Okay. So the casters I need to buff out because they've been around. This piano we purchased originally. We were going to use it as a rental piano, and then have abandoned that idea. And so now it's just going straight in the home, and I hadn't touched it at all. It hadn't been prepped. So I'm gonna get my jack up the piano. First I better check the time of this. What time are we at here today? Okay. Big screwdriver here. Get a dowel. Mallet. I'm actually at the time I've got to quit today. I've got some yard work to do and things. Interesting. It's kind of stubborn in here. Wow. Okay. Well, I might go about this a different way than I was planning. Let's see here. I don't usually have trouble getting casters off, but I'm having trouble with this one. Let's just gonna take the leg off so I can see what's going on with this particular caster. It must have a different type of release. Okay, it's about 4 o'clock. About 4 o'clock, I was going to check the chat there if there are any questions. Just 1 second, and I'll do that. Oh, you're kidding me. I need a different socket. Okay, can't win here tonight. All right, that's a sign. It's 4 o'clock. I got some yard work to do at home and things, so I'm gonna. But essentially, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the legs off once I get the correct socket, and then I think that'll probably unscrew from the bottom once I flip the leg over. Then I'm gonna run this. Sand this brass, resand it smooth and polish it again since we've been rolling it around. Normally we don't roll pianos around on their original casters. We'll put a protection on it or put a shop caster on it, but since this was kind of a unique case with what we were going to do with this piano, so we'll hit that early Monday morning before the movers take it. And then as far as this Steinway piano, I'm gonna check and see. I'm gonna make sure that hits right, and then I'll hang the hammers on possibly Monday, and we'll go from there. Let me check the chat here. Let's see. Rich says, "I think you said this is a new piano. Why does it get sent to you for service before it goes to the customer?" Yeah. So as I explained. I mean, sometimes I'll get new pianos before they go to the customer. Usually I'll do that at the dealer. But sometimes they'll get sent here because pianos need to be prepped. But usually if it was a brand new piano, this one was kind of sitting around. We were planning on using it for a different purpose and then ended up that we were going to send it out as is, and it's going to find its forever home. So that's the explanation on that one. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to sign out, go mow the lawn and stuff. But that's it for me today. Thanks.